Hi, welcome to the Befrienders training on suicide awareness. At the end of this training, you'll be able to understand what suicide is, able to understand the purpose of suicide prevention, able to identify the suicide warning signs, and able to deal with people who have suicidal thoughts. Firstly, what is the meaning of suicide? Suicide is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. So basically, suicide is all about taking your own life. It is a tragic reaction to stressful life situations, and all the more tragic because suicide can be prevented. Suicide is not about wanting to die, but a feeling of not being able to carry on. It is about escaping from unbearable pain. It is a means to try to end a situation in which a person feels trapped. So basically, it is a decision made out of desperation, hopelessness, isolation, and loneliness. The next is, what is suicidal ideations? There are two types of suicidal thoughts. The first one is active suicidal thoughts. This kind of suicidal thought is not only thinking about it, but having the intent to die by suicide, including planning how to do it. They no longer have the motivations to live. They not only think about suicide, but intend to follow through on an actions that will cause harm to them and potentially end their life. Another suicidal thought is called passive suicidal thoughts. This kind of suicidal thought wishing that they could die in sleep or in an accident rather than by their own hand. They have no real intentions to harm themselves or plans to complete suicide. They think about their death or believe they would be better off dead. These thoughts can result from a lack of a desire to live, a decrease in personal interest, and feelings of hopelessness. There are some myths about suicide, such as most suicides occur without warning. People who attempt suicide are just selfish or weak. People who talk about suicide are just seeking attention. Talking about suicide with someone will give them the idea. It mostly affects people who are really struggling, such as poor, unemployed, or homeless. Only crazy people end their life by suicide. And lastly, if someone decides to take his or her life, there's nothing that can be done. But the facts about the suicide is preventable. Most suicidal individuals desperately want to live. They are just unable to see alternatives to their problems. Another one is talking about suicide does not cause someone to be suicidal. Suicide occurs across all age groups, economic, social, racial, and ethnic boundaries. Suicide is a serious public health problem. Many who attempt suicide never seek professional care. Not only that, most suicide survivors find themselves absolutely confused as to why they even attempted to end their life in the first place. And surviving family members not only suffer the trauma of losing a loved one to suicide, they may themselves be at higher risk for suicide and emotional problems. Why suicide? This can be cause of family history of suicide, facing relationship problems, child abuse, neglect or trauma, prolonged stress due to bullying, serious illness or chronic pain as they can't see any hope for their life, jobless or job loss, unemployment will further link to financial problems, mental illness, unwilling to seek help because of stigma, stressful life events such as rejection, divorce, or financial crisis. There's no simple answer. Usually, the emotional upset is so great that the person just wants to stop the pain. The suicidal person feels a tremendous sense of loneliness and isolation. They feel helpless, worthless, and hopeless. So what are the suicidal feelings? So most of them are feeling helpless, worthless, and hopeless, as I mentioned just now. Feelings that things will not get better, feeling overwhelmed and unable to cope, feeling of anger that you direct towards yourself, feeling isolated or not understood, feeling undecided about whether you want to live or die, like everyone would be better off without you. And lastly, unbearable pain that you can't imagine ending. Our government and NGO are busy having suicide prevention month, suicide prevention talk, workshop. What is the purpose? So the goals for suicide prevention campaign is to increase community awareness that suicide is a preventable public health problem. Another goal is to increase awareness that depression is the primary cause of death. They hope that it will change public perceptions about the stigma of mental illness, especially about depressions and suicide throughout the suicide prevention campaign. And lastly is to increase the ability of the public to recognize and help someone they know who might be suicidal. Suicide prevention begins with recognizing the warning signs. Recognizing when someone might be struggling with their mental health is essential so that we can offer support and help. Here are some signs to look out for. The first one is changes in behaviors. If you notice someone's behavior has been different lately, for example, they might start acting very differently from how they used to, like becoming more withdrawn or avoiding activities they once enjoyed. Another one is mood swings. Someone's mood changing a lot, like going from happy to sad or angry very quickly. It could be a sign that something is bothering them. The next one is isolation. They spend most of the time with themselves, alone, and seems to be avoiding social interactions. They might be going through a tough time and need some space, but it's also a sign that they might need help. Changes in workplace or school performance. As I mentioned just now, suicide can be occurs in all age groups. So if you notice someone who used to do well in school or workplace suddenly struggling or losing interest in their study or works, it could be related to their mental well-being. Sleep or eating habits. They have the trouble sleeping or eating too much or eating little. These changes might be connected to how they are feeling, especially negative thoughts. They often talk about feeling sad, hopeless, or worthless. It could be a sign that they are struggling emotionally. Physical symptoms. Sometimes mental health problems can cause physical symptoms too, like headache or stomachache, even there's no other clear reason for them. Loss of interest, suddenly loss of interest in things they used to love, like hobbies or sports. It could be a sign of emotional distress. Substance use. They tend to use drugs or alcohol more frequently, as this can be a way of trying to cope with emotional pain. And lastly is talking about suicide. They talk about feeling like they want to hurt themselves or end their life. Take it seriously and seek help immediately. There are some other signs and symptoms of suicide, such as talking about wanting to die or kill themselves, talking about feeling hopeless or having no reason to live, talking about being a burden to others, can be linked to the feelings of failure and shame, acting anxious or agitated, behaving recklessly, showing rage, or talking about seeking revenge. Or they could be visiting or calling people to say goodbye. So why do they have all these kind of thinkings and behavior? This is linked to the common expressions part. The reason is they can't stop the pain. They can't think clearly, can't make decisions, can't see any way out, can't sleep, eat, or work, can't get out of depression, can't make the sadness go away, can't see a future without pain, can't see themselves as worthwhile, can't get someone's attention. So as a result of suicide towards the family and friends, every suicide is a tragedy that affects families, friends, and communities and has long-lasting effects on the people left behind. They will have these kind of feelings such as guilt and shame, self-loathing, anger, betrayal, relief, isolation, extreme sadness and lonely, loss of interest, regret, suicidal, failure, shock, and disbelief. Can we really prevent suicide? The answer is yes, if the persons have strong connection and support from family and friends. If the persons have good social skills such as good communication skills, listening skills. If they have the access to mental and physical health care, and they have the hope for the future. They know that suicide is never the only option, even though it may feel that way. For anyone considering suicide, simply being heard and understood can be a powerful deterrent. Suicide can be prevented if the persons have a good coping skills, such as problem-solving skills. They have the responsibilities and duties to others, and they have good self-esteem and a sense of purpose or meaning in life. Strategies to prevent suicide. So when you encounter a person who has suicidal thoughts, it is important for you to notice the warning signs. So the first step is you need to identify and support people at risk. If you notice any of these signs, approach your friend with care and let them know you are there to listen and support them. Another one is promote connectedness. Encourage them to talk to a trusted adult. like a parent, teacher, or school counselor who can help them get the support they need. You don't have to solve their problems, but being there to listen and shows that you care can make a big difference. Always remember, mental health is just as important as physical health. And helping a friend through a tough time can be a powerful way to show your friendship and support. How befriending helps? So the first thing is when you're receiving a call or when you meet someone who has suicidal thoughts, always bear in mind, everyone you meet today may be fighting a battle you know nothing about. So please be kind to others. What you should do when you are talking to someone who is feeling suicidal. The first thing you need to do is stay calm and speak in a reassuring tone. Acknowledge and validate their feelings. Avoid sounding judgmental or offensive. Being an active listener, listen to what is being said. Be patient. Allow the caller to unload their despair. Never argue or convince them not to kill themselves. What has kept you fighting against your life so far? Be accepting and do not judge. So you can also consider and assessing the level of risk. You may ask them, how often are you thinking about this? Do you have a plan? Have you thought about how you would kill yourself? Have you thought about when? Always remember, talking with someone about suicide will not give them the idea to be suicidal. How do you ask the suicide questions? Firstly, you can ask, do you feel like you have had enough? Does it seem pointless to carry on? Is it all too much? Do you ever feel as though you don't want to be around? Are you experiencing the feeling of being trapped? Are you thinking of suicide? Have you been feeling left out or alone? Have you been feeling like you are a burden? What not to say? You need to remember, do not try to fix their problem as you don't know the whole scenario. People are in worse situations than you, so be grateful for the life you have. Never say can't you see how much you mean to everyone? Everyone loves you. Are you going to do something stupid? Cheer up and do some things that will get your mind off it. Don't tell them it's a selfish to feel that way. Don't say stay strong. It implies feeling suicidal may be weak. Don't say I know how you feel or it is all in your head. This too shall pass. Just ignore the thoughts, they will go away. You need to try harder and you will get over it. These are the things that you shouldn't say to the caller or persons who have suicidal thoughts. So how befriending helps, we look for L.E.A.R.N, L-E-A-R-N. So L is stand for looks for signs. E empathize, and listen. A. Ask directly about suicide. R. Remove the danger. And next level of care, which is seek out professional help. So what should you do when you are talking to someone who is about to end his life or her life during the call? They might tell you, oh, they are somewhere in the tall building, they are very near to the window, or they have pills or knife in hand. What you need to do is you need to be calm. Stay calm. Ask them where they are. Where's their location? Ask the caller to step back if they are in the tall building or near the window so that you can have conversations with them. Ask the caller to keep the pills or knife far away. So these are the steps that you can be done to remove the danger. You can ask the questions such as, is anyone with you now? Is there anyone we can call? Is there anyone we can call to bring you to the hospital? The purpose of doing that is to reach out to someone who can help the caller with the caller's permission. So the next part is seeking professional help. Where to seek help? This does not mean that you need to send the callers to the hospital, but you can provide the information for the persons who is going to send the callers or people who really need it. So there are two different parts. The first part is governmental, another part is non-governmental. So the persons can actually send the persons who have suicidal thoughts or intended to end their life to health clinic, Mentari, GPS, or Pekka B40 identified clinics. From there, get a consultation from a doctor or GP. After that, they will give you a referral letter. Then only you go to psychiatric clinic, government hospital. Before that, you need to set an appointment. Another one is straight away go to the psychiatric unit, governmental, semi-governmental hospital. Get a referral letter from governmental or private clinic. Get a consultation from an MO or psychiatrist. So they either let you do the checkup if required. So most likely they will do some scanning, blood tests of EEG. After that, they will set an appointment. This is for governmental part. For non-governmental part, we can actually send the persons who is suicidal to private clinic or hospital or private psychologist or counselor or non-governmental organizations, NGO. What you need to do is just walk in or call to book an appointment. Call their psychosocial support hotline. These are the informations. So lastly, pathway to mental health service at Hospital Pulau Pinang. So for clients who are not aggressive or suicidal, the client or family members can go to the GH Outpatient Department 001 Hospital Pulau Pinang. Or you can go to the nearest government clinic, KK, Klinik Kesehatan, or private general practitioner clinic to get a referral letter. After you get the referral letter, with this letter, get an appointment at the psychiatric clinic Hospital Pulau Pinang for assessment and treatment. So this is their contact number of the department. For clients who may need admission due to aggressiveness or suicidality, or very psychotic, family or client can go direct to emergency department, or family can report to police, who will then bring clients to emergency department. So at the emergency department, the medical officer will assess the client for admission or others. So hope today's training have give you an insight or ideas in handling the caller or people who have suicidal thoughts. That's all from me. Thank you.